You're listening to the Jefferson Exchange. I'm Angela Decker. Thanks for joining us today. This region is known for great food, and on our program Savor, food stylist Will Smith explores all things food-related, from agriculture to recipes to fine dining and more. Today, he visits with Carolina Lavanino of Newman Hotel Group to talk about this weekend's Oregon Chocolate Festival and its many related events at the Ashland Hills Hotel. Here's Will Smith.
You're listening to Savor on Jefferson Public Radio, where we talk about all things food related with a focus on keeping it local. I'm your host, Will Smith. Thanks for joining us. Today, I have Carolina Lavanino, a Director of Sales and Marketing at Newman Hotel Group. You know, and in this community, we've had a tough time the past few years with a multitude of issues, fires, COVID, etc. And one of the most beloved festivals is up and running and coming back in a big way this weekend, March 1 through 3 at Ashland Hills Hotel. It's the 20th Annual Chocolate Festival. Hi, Caroline. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So did you have some years that you weren't able to do this festival during COVID?
We were fortunate enough to have Oregon Chocolate Festival in 2020.
Okay.
We finished on Sunday, and on Thursday, the country shut down.
Unbelievable.
2021, we went virtual.
Okay.
This was kind of fun journey, if I can kind of share quickly.
Sure.
Because I reached out to chocolate makers, farmers in Mexico, Brazil, all over, and they were recording for me and showing me their cacao farm in the jungle and other fun things that I would never get to experience or share with anybody.
Sure.
And then we, during the March of 2021, shared that content with those who subscribed.
That is amazing. Well, I love doing a little research for the show, and I love looking at people's websites, and this website is chock full of, I think, activities for a variety of different people. And I urge all our listeners to take some time and go to OregonChocolateFestival.com.
Yeah.
Please take a peek, because I think there's something there for almost everyone. You have 60 vendors coming. You have amazing seminars. You have a chocolate wine dinner, chocolate brunches. You're doing a 5K run, a 10K run, a costume
Contest.
Yes, contest. Pretty amazing. So it looks like you are like all things burning for this weekend.
It takes a long time to put it all together.
I bet.
But it's a fun adventure for everybody. I would allow myself to say that really everyone, any age, can find something that will be appealing. And how many people really can say they don't like chocolate?
No, exactly. One of my favorite things. So can you sort of break down the weekend of what things people might be able to experience?
Yeah. We start March 1st, Friday evening. We kick off with the annual Chocolate Makers Wine Dinner. Mm-hmm. That's at Ashland Springs Hotel, so don't confuse properties. And then Saturday and Sunday, it is the Vendors Marketplace. That's the heart and soul of the festival. Right. Vendors coming from 5 different states, and you get
and that's new this year. You sort of reached out a little bit, cast a wider net. To get people involved.
For many years, I have been focusing on Oregon.
Yes.
And in the last couple of years, we got to welcome a few from California, Washington, then one from Utah, and this year also Arizona, and a much larger number of California and Washington. So 5 states represented. I'm very excited. And it's an opportunity for many who attend to taste and purchase products from a huge number of chocolatiers and confection makers.
Right, and we're not just talking chocolate and confections. You have a variety of vendors coming.
Yeah, my goal always is that it's a nice balance of vendors. So besides chocolatiers, we also have bakers. We have wineries,
winemakers, right?
Distilleries, as well as Rogue Creamery. And so there is something for everybody, even in the vendors marketplace.
So what we talked about a little bit before we went on air. This is your baby,
It is my baby. I don't want to admit anymore because it's 20 years old.
right?
It's really hard to believe.
Right.
When I started, I never, ever thought that this festival would take off like this. It was this idea of we need to bring people in March to town.
Yes.
February is all about Valentine's and romance, and January is kind of good for a hotel industry and for tourism to slow down,
Sure.
clean up,
People take
refresh.
breaks. Yeah.
Chefs and teams take breaks.
Yeah.
But then March was that time of like, what do we do? And when we started, we had 14 vendors,
So amazing.
and years later, here we are.
Um, and and talk about that growth just in the vendors. I'm pretty impressed by who you have coming here. So 20 years ago, 14.
And probably 5 of them were chocolatiers.
So great. And so now I see many confection and chocolate people, but then I also see wineries, distilleries. So how do you go about and find those people?
Over those 20 years, I definitely have built a database,
Yeah.
and I reach out personally to all of them. I do research and look for new ones because you can imagine that many of them just disappeared due to COVID,
Sure.
due to economic situation.
Sure.
Cost of cacao right now is through the roof, so that's gonna also impact many
Sure.
smaller companies. Hopefully not, but unfortunately, that might be the case. And so I connect with vendors who are historically coming year over year, and I ask them, who would you recommend that I reach out to from farther away? So they help me as well. And then just introduce them to Ashland and tell them more that it's not just another food show,
Right.
that it's a little bit more intimate. It's
Yes.
the capacity of our venue is nothing as a convention center somewhere in Portland or Las Vegas,
Sure.
right?
But
And-
also I think the people who are attending are also, I think, a little more interested in and schooled and interested in food and chocolate. Like it's a interesting crowd we have here.
it's a foodie event for many.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity for many vendors to really get their contacts established in Southern Oregon, because many times I have store buyers coming also to the festival,
Oh, that's great.
and restaurants and hotel owners or managers getting to discover some new products that they can sell.
I just want to remind everybody, this is Savor on Jefferson Public Radio. I'm your host, Will Smith. I'm speaking with Carolina Lavignino, Sales and Marketing Director at Newman Hotel Group. So the thing that I was most excited in when I was looking at the website was the fascinating array of seminars, which is the kind of thing that I really liked to visit when I'm doing, one of these kind of shows. That's where you really get intimate with specific people. Can you talk a little bit about who you might be featuring on those?
Yeah. One of the presenters is Christian Taylor of Cacao Orinoco Chocolate Company. He's a cacao consultant also, and he will be talking about bean to bar market.
Yeah.
And prices of cacao beans, etc., etc. So I think this will be very interesting.
Yeah.
I have another gentleman who is bringing cacao pods from Belize,
Yeah.
and he'll be really opening cacao pods in front of us, talking about what is the whole process, where it starts, and how do you end up with chocolate.
It's funny. I think chocolate is one of those things we're so far removed from. It's something that we all grew up with, but yet we actually don't really know how it's made.
Yeah.
It's sort of a magic to me.
And when we say we, it's here in the United States where climate is so different than
Correct.
In all those countries producing cacao in the jungle. And so, yes, you're absolutely right that the idea that it comes from a pod and then humans figure out how
Right.
to roast it
Right.
and then it becomes chocolate and a treat for the masses is just wild.
It
So.
is amazing. And one thing that I think most people now really realize how dark chocolate is so beautiful with a deep dark red wine. But you also have this is the seminar I want to go to is you have a beer and chocolate tasting.
Yes, our certified Cicerone, who is based here in Ashland at Lark's Restaurant, Molly Shaughnessy, is going to talk about this beautiful pairing that is
Something
really not popular.
I would never have thought.
Yeah, so I am excited for her to talk about, I believe it's 4 or 5 different beers and chocolates that she'll be exploring and suggesting that people try it at home.
So great. And of course, I also see that you have Philippe Spread coming into doing a little demo on how to make a Viennese chocolate baguette. Yes, please.
Yeah, I know.
So will he be constructing those and baking them, or is it more of a talk?
He will talk. We have a presentation, so there will be images step by step.
Yeah.
He'll provide the recipe for those who are interested to do it at home. And with his beautiful French accent, he'll just make us all excited to bake at home or just go to a local store and get some of those baguettes that he makes so beautifully.
So great. Well, it looks beautiful, the photo that I see. And then little off campus is your 2 sort of runs that you're doing as well. And those are on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. Charlie's Chocolate Run on Sunday.
Yeah.
There is a fun 1 mile. Hopefully some kiddos can do that too. But then 5K and 10K. So if you feel guilty coming to Oregon Chocolate Festival, how about a 10K?
Right. And then you can burn it off.
They can burn it off, then come and overindulge.
I think that's a great idea. So I was interested, and we spoke a little bit before we started about the fact that this was your sort of creation. How did you get to Ashland?
I am originally from Poland. I was at the Nicholas Copernicus University in graduate program studying cognitive linguistics. I got scholarship to Southern Oregon University.
So amazing.
That was year 2000. Oh my gosh, 24 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've been here in love with this town ever since.
I love that. Those are those stories. That's one of my, I have a circuitous story about how I got here, and it's something that I always, in every permutation of positions I've had in town, it is always intriguing because people have good stories about how they ended up here. I came for family issues, and I haven't regretted a moment of it.
There's something magical about this town, and I am very grateful that the universe pushed me this way.
Yeah, so great. Well, again, Oregon Chocolate Festival is this weekend at Ashland Hills Hotel, March 1, 2, 3. Please check out the website and do yourself a favor and go and support the 60, which is a lot, 60 vendors that will be in the ballroom at Ashland Hills.
Yeah, we have 2 ballrooms. It's going to be fun. There'll be live music, food trucks. So let's
good.
do it.
Good. You've been listening to Savor. This is JPR's Regional Food Podcast. You can find this program and more on our website at jeffexchange.org or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, and eat well, and everybody get some chocolate this weekend. Thanks, Carolina.
Thank you very much.